Hello everybody, Fractruck here. We talked about this game a little bit on the podcast earlier this week. It's called Rebel Galaxy. I figured I'd show it off a little since we didn't really get into too much detail, and I really like this game. So I figured I'd make a video out of it. What you're looking at right now is the Yeoman Athabasca, a ship that I named. Rebel Galaxy is a space game, but unlike most space games, which are sort of a one-to-one representation of a single-person, single-seater craft, you're in charge of this massive capital-class ship, right? It's got this particular hull has 4 turret positions. It's got broadside cannons. It's got missile launchers. Let me fire those broadsides for you. Yeah. The basic loot gameplay of Rebel Galaxy is get money, do missions, upgrade your ship. I've just completed the story up to the point where I can get out of the first little sector here in Abbott. I'm out here in Abbott. And I've just gotten the story mission that will take me out of the first little sector. So let's take a look at the map of each sector. It's pretty big. You sort of traverse the area in warp space. And the actual physical gameplay of the game is very similar to what was I gonna say? Like the ship combat in the Assassin's Creed 3/4 era, where you're in charge of a ship, you upgrade its weapons, and you're fighting on this 2D plane because you don't have 3D control. Yeah, you fire the broadsides in a focused pattern. You know, your turrets are AI controlled. I have a little guy that follows me around, a mercenary. Let's get some missions, and I can show you what the gameplay is like. Firing my booster to get back to this Merchant Guild station. Booster has a limited charge. You also have a deflector in addition to your shields, which is good for fending off missile attacks. Now, these are all components on the ships. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the ships themselves. Let's go into the equipment bay. You've got 3 different types of components: weapons, defense, and components. Broadsides, secondary weapons, turret control. Right now, Mark II is the highest available in this sector, so I have a fully upgraded ship. Defense, you've got hull, shields, and deflector, obviously. And components, you can get different engines, different kinds of boosters. So there's also, like, within these different subcategories, there are different types. Like, there's different types of turrets. I have 2 main gun cannons. I have a mining laser turret, and I also have, like, a missile turret. Very useful. And you can have subsystems that help with mining. You can, so the way that you get money in this game is doing missions, doing trade, mining, doing the story missions, that sort of thing, doing bounty hunting. It's pretty standard space-going fare, right? So there is an economy, there is a bounty system, there are factions to deal with, all that stuff that you would expect. It's incredibly focused. It's very good. And this game's only $20. I mean, I think it's 15 right now because it's on sale. But let's do a couple missions for the Merchants Guild. So they're listed by how difficult they might be. Green is low, white is average. Let's see. Serious dangers. Let's do a freight mission. And let's do a couple of freight missions because I've got space. Very simple. And we'll do a combat mission at the stations that we're going to. So now that I'm back out in space, I'm going to pick the closest mission, which is gold ingots freight. Fire up my engines, and once we get far enough away from the station, it'll give me the option to go to warp, which is how you traverse the great expanses of space in this game. The music in this game is fantastic. It really gives a good Firefly vibe. This is probably the best Firefly game you're going to get outside of having a licensed product, because you really can do anything. I've not trod on the other side of the law, but I mean, there's certainly options available to you to do that. Like, you could look at my factions. I'm sort of on the straight and narrow, but I mean, you could work those other factions if you wanted to by attacking, like, the militia and stuff. Alright, so you can see the timer ticking down as to when we're going to get there. We're moving, obviously, faster than light right now. There's, like, if you saw on the map, there are those little points there. Those are little, like, nebulae and asteroid fields. Points of interest, essentially. You can do mining in there. Maybe you'll find some, like, wayward cargo in there. Maybe a merchant with a distress beacon. Maybe he'll give you a hot tip or something. But right now we're going to another station to deliver gold ingots. Uh-oh. Cool, perfect. Alright, so the turrets are going automatically. I am controlling the broadsides. Let's take these guys out. Turn on my deflectors to protect myself from the missiles. The rings around the map are my shields and armor. You don't want those to go down, obviously. Alright, so my turrets are doing most of the work here while I sort of maneuver myself. Come on. The music is very dynamic, as you can tell. So there are different classes of enemies. There are fighter enemies, there are gunships, missile corvettes, that sort of thing, capital class ships. They sort of mimic the classes of ships that you can have, though I don't think you can get a one-seat fighter in this game as a player. Alright, broadsides. He's gone. Oh, and I got a bounty. Bounty received. Bounty detected. Thank you, turrets. Alright. Easy enough. So they dropped some cargo that I can tractor in and maybe sell at another station. Though it's just one of them. Oh, okay, hello. So now he's in range. Easy peasy. Oh, see now, the red little blip down there indicates that he's dropped some contraband. I don't really deal with any of that, because if you get scanned, you get in trouble. And I'm a pansy in these kinds of games. I sort of play the straight and narrow. Alright, so down there on the left, you could see the different weapon systems I have control of. You know, right now I'm on broadside, which is the main sort of camera control, but I could use the D-pad to select which set of turrets I want to control if I want to do some turret-specific work. Let's take a look at that right now. So, these are my gun turrets. I could do fine aiming and fire those out. I have two different kinds of gun turrets, a pulse cannon and a machine gun. I have the mining laser, which is like a beam, and I've got the missile turret, which fires a swarm of 6 missiles at once. I usually let the computer control these because it does a pretty good job, but the downside of the missile turret is while it's extremely powerful, you run out of ordnance real quick and have to refill that stuff. Alright, so let's drop off these gold ingots. Alright. Mission complete. Let's refill my ordnance. No damage to my ship. Let's check out their mission board. See if there's any. Okay. Alright. It's led by Xenocilia in the vicinity of Wodan. Is there one closer? Yeah, there's one that's closer. Red Devil Bounty. Perfect. That's very close. We'll take this one. Hestia X Zone. Alright, let's take that on. Let's check closest mission. Red Devil Bounty. Fire up the engines. Let's roll out. Now, being that it's 2D flight, I mean, obviously everything's in your path. You sort of have to navigate around it. Your ship speeds up and slows down based on what obstacles are near it, if you've got enemies and stuff. So it's kind of like a lot of cat and mouse stuff. If you're outnumbered, you got to try to get away, use your boosters, use your deflectors, and dodge an asteroid fields while in warp, because it will take me out of warp and slow me down, basically, and there could be bad stuff in there. Alright, so we're almost there. This is going to be a combat mission primarily, so I'm going to let my fingers do the talking. Do a pulse to make sure. Okay. Alright. Missile turret's already going off. Those are underpowered missiles, so I'm just going to fire my big boy missiles now with the X button. Oh, God, they're wrecking me. Kind of wrecking me, not great. Uh-oh. Fire the missiles. Gotta focus on this one. This one's a rough one. Alright, she's going down. Yep. Goodbye. Tractor in that metallic ore. And those nuts and bolts. And drop off my pure water to another station. That was easy enough. As the music fades out. Now, one feature that this game has that I have not played with is the ability to do custom soundtracks. So when you launch the game, it's a Unity game, so it comes up with a little options menu, right? So you can tell it to point to a... I'm going to check out that distress beacon. You can tell it to point to a folder where you've got MP3 files, right? So the idea is that the game will select the track that is most appropriate for whatever you're doing. Like a downbeat track like this one if you're just sort of loping around, a high energy track if you're in combat. I've not played around with this. This seems like a really cool feature. If you like listening to music while playing the game, why not have the game select the appropriate music for you? I may have to play with that in the future and see what it comes up with. I'll help this guy out. He might sell me some stuff, give me a hot tip. Yeah, I got some credits for it. Slow down a little bit. Okay. Oh god, I'm just ramming this asteroid. Oh, won't let me hail these guys. Why is he attacking me? Oh, he's not. He's mining through me. Now, if it was a merchant ship that was under attack, I could hail him and maybe trade with him, maybe get a hot stock tip, or, you know, learn about a mining boon in part of this sector. There's a lot of sort of emergent gameplay aspects. I mean, the basic subset of missions, we've pretty much seen it, right? So it's deliver freight, take out dudes. Maybe you do your own thing where you buy goods and ferry them from station to station. Maybe you go out mining. That's about it, right? But the game is so focused and so polished that the loop feels good. It feels good to play, even though I've already probably experienced most of what the game has to offer outside of the story missions, which are light, but they're pretty good. I mean, it's got enough to keep you going along, right? So we'll finish off this water freight, and I'll show you the other Uh-oh. What's going on here? So I tend to let my turrets do most of the work because they're computer controlled and much better than I am. But yeah, also because I have a big ship and I can have a lot of turrets. The smaller craft you can maneuver better and get in there for your... Alright, this was a hell freight mission. So the station that I'm going to is basically under siege. You can see those X's on the minimap. Those are mines. So I'm trying to get this water to this station, which is under siege from these Red Devil mercenaries. This can't be happening. Well, it is. Deal with it. And those mines sort of impair my engines. They don't do a lot of damage. They do slow me down. Goodbye. Alright, so I've mostly cleared a path. Alright, so out of range means he's out of range of my broadside, so I'm not gonna keep firing on him. We're almost at the station anyway. Alright, docking. There we go. We fill that ordnance do the repairs. So these are some of the other ships you can get. The Hammerhead is the class that you start with. You can see the stats there on the left. This is one of the bigger ships, obviously. Costs over 1 million credits. This is a big, heavy cruiser type ship. Alright, so let's look at the commodities market. Now, each station will have a different market, depending on what the station is known for, what it produces, essentially. And you can sort of game the system. You can see, like, if you look on the map, or if you go talk to go look at the news board, right? So, Nobayama Core is a station. They have a market glut, so they have an excess in supply of many of their items. That means if you went to that station, you could probably buy a bunch of stuff for pretty cheap and then go sell it elsewhere. The red means that there's typically, like, the enemy factions are in control of certain stations, or there's an embargo. Obviously, it's attacky going on. Oh, interesting. I've never seen the militia embargo before. All right. So that's Rebel Galaxy. And hopefully this little quick look has shown you the basics of the game. I mean, there's a lot more in here to explore. There's the story. There's the, gaming the system, that sort of thing. But the basic loop is improve your ship, do missions, get more money, improve your ship, right? And it feels pretty good. It's well executed, and it's a pretty good, cheap game made by, like, a couple of people. It's an excellent game. I like the focus. I like these space games, and I think that this one is fantastic, and you should check it out. It's Rebel Galaxy, available now on Steam. I've been Frack Truck. Thanks for watching. If you like the videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.